And we are ready to go at the University of Tampa. A long weekend of softball begins 2 days before the weekend starts. I'm Taylor Storley, joined by Shane Patania. The Tampa Spartans take on the University of Alabama Huntsville Chargers. For the first of 6 games, the Spartans will be playing this weekend. They start their weekend against Alabama Huntsville. They'll have 2 stand-as-1 games on Friday against West Alabama, and then we'll be hosting Valdosta State on Saturday before beginning conference play with series against the Lions and Fighting Knights. Tampa had 2 wins on last Sunday and are getting started here on February 6th. Shane, that was a good weekend for the Spartans, a 5-2 combined scoreline.
Yeah, the Spartans came out looking strong and had some turnover that they needed to address this offseason, but in those gaps, especially at shortstop with McKenna DiMartino, among other spots in the lineup, they were certainly filled.
Well, it's a returning Spartan who will be in the circle today. Kate DeSimone gets the call for the start, her first of the season after appearing last weekend as a closer. She was able to secure a victory by getting a save over 2 scoreless innings. Last season, DeSimone had a breakout season with a 1.30 ERA and an 11-3 record, second on the team in wins, third on the team in ERA. She'll be joined behind home plate by Kenna Creedler. Then at first base, we've got Solt, second base Reynolds, shortstop DiMartino, third base Russo, the outfield, a constant for the Spartans, Fantone, Keister, and Mariah Galehouse. For the Chargers, they'll be starting off with the number 6, Lauren Hayes. After her, it'll be Kinley Adams. Then it'll be Jada Henderson. Hartran bats in 4th, as that is strike 1 right down the middle. Thompson bats in 5th. Behind her will be Alexa Douthit. Batting in 7th is Kylie Smith. Batting in 8th is Sydney Harris. And batting in 9th to round out the lineup is Brittany Slayton. 1-1 now as the McGinnis fastball drifts up high. 2 lefties will open the game for the Chargers. And the first lefty is going to get ahead 2-1 in the count.
Alabama Huntsville 3-2 on the year, played 5 games in the Mardi Gras Invitational in Lafayette, Louisiana this past weekend.
It was a mixture of results for the Chargers as that just gets away from a diving Spartan infielder. Reynolds made a good attempt on it, but it'll be a leadoff single for Hayes.
And Hayes was one of the bright spots in that opening weekend. Batted .308 coming into today's game and only up from there.
That average will increase with that hit. I don't think it'll be graded as an error. I think that would be unfair for Reynolds if it was. Runner on first, and they'll try to advance the runner, but that is strike 1 as that clips the edge of the zone. Over that weekend, the Chargers went 3-2. They won the middle 3 games of the weekend against Washburn, Texas A&M, Kingsville, and Southern Arkansas, but started and ended the weekend with losses against Harding and Augustana. Foul, so that'll be a second strike. That would have advanced the runner, but she'll have to try again.
And it's a sense of urgency from UAH head coach Les Studeman. I think these are very important games for them. These 2 teams squared off 4 times last season. Tampa winning 3 of those, including ending their season in the South 2 Regional.
That's going to go up high for ball 1. These teams have definitely built up their rivalry over their most recent matchups. The all-time series is still in favor of the Chargers, 7-10 in total. But like you mentioned, it's been sunshine for the Spartans in recent matchups. As there's 1 out, there's 2 outs. A 6-3 double play on the line drive, heads up by the freshman at shortstop.
DiMartino has made her presence made already. I stole the words of Dick Vitale on Sunday. I called her a diaper dandy. The freshman, her second turned double play already in her young career.
Normally you'll see the double plays on ground balls, but that time it was caught off the Adams line drive. Unlucky for the Chargers, 2 away for Henderson, and that is strike 1 on the outside corner.
Henderson batted .333 last weekend in Louisiana.
That also hits the zone. Strike 2, and 1 more strike would get DeSimone out of the inning. A beautiful Thursday afternoon. Eventually will turn tonight. Maybe the games go fast enough we avoid having dark skies here at Tampa. And this first inning comes to an end with a good throw from Rousseau. 3 outs on 3 batters. There was 1 hit, 1 double play, and 1 ground out. Good start for the Spartans. Due up will be Fantone, Keister, and Galehouse when we come back on TampaSpartans.tv. And welcome back, softball fans. We're at the Namoli Family Stadium at the University of Tampa. The Spartans and Chargers ready to continue their game. Here's your starting order for the Spartans as they'll get ready to go in the bottom of the first. Leading off is the senior Lauren Fantone. She'll be followed by Lily Keister. Batting in third, back for another season, is our very own Shohei Ohtani. Mariah Galehouse, the two-way superstar from Spring Hill, Florida. After Galehouse, it'll be Solt batting in fourth. Solt is a graduate student who joins the Spartans, coming from VSU previously. Batting in fifth is Kenna Creedler, the sophomore from Newport Richey. She is replacing Lexi Chevalier this season, longtime Spartans catcher. Batting in sixth is another veteran, Alexa Russo. Batting in seventh is Kelsey Winters, a sophomore pitcher who is a two-way player, looks to be for the Spartans. While batting in eighth is the shortstop McKenna DiMartino, and batting in ninth is Kenzie Reynolds. In the circle for the Chargers is Katie Bracken, also known as the Kraken. First pitch hits the zone for strike one. For Bracken, it was a solid opening weekend of softball. 2 starts, 1 complete game, 15 innings, and 28 strikeouts. She is one of the strongest starters in D2 softball in the nation and will certainly be a tough opponent for the Spartans today. 0-2 immediately to Fantone.
And experience against the Spartans. Last season, pitched a combined 15 1/3 innings pitched, both one game in that regular season doubleheader in February, and then in that South 2 regional.
Ball one, good take by Fantone as the at-bat continues.
Some mixed results for her, though. In that February game, it was a complete game shutout that the Chargers won 2-0. She threw 7 scoreless, allowing 3 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 2.
Swing and a miss. Bracken gets her first strikeout with a fastball in the outside corner, and it'll be 1 away for Lily Keister. And you know, Shane, Bracken's most impressive outing in the circle against the Spartans came back in 2023, also in regional play, where she entered the game in relief in the 4th inning and proceeded to throw 11 2/3 of 2-run ball, or at least 1-run ball, until Mariah Galehouse hit a walk-off double to win the longest game in Spartans softball history, or at least one of them, I believe. It was the second longest one, ended in the bottom of the 16th.
Yeah, there was another extra innings battle in last year's regional. She started and then re-entered in relief in that game on May 9th through 8 1/3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs on 7 hits.
Swing and a miss, a 1-1 count now for Lily Keister. But yeah, a ton of impressive efforts from Bracken in the circle against the Spartans, although she is someone that the Spartans do know quite well in terms of facing her in the past. So wonder see if that experience helps the Spartans veterans out a bit. The count's going to go 2-1. Keister pulled back in time as she was looking to drop a bunt down. I think she was trying to test the infield defense. From left to right in the infield, it's Stouthit, Smith, Hayes, and Cartron. It's Slayton, Thompson, Adams from left to right in the outfield. That is strike 2 on the low and outside corner. Tampa starting off with their 2 left-handed batters, but there's none others that are listed as lefties in the lineup. That was a nice off-speed pitch, but it brings the count full. On deck is Galehouse.
Keister went 1 for 6 on Sunday. That one hit came in game 1 against Georgia Southwestern.
Galehouse on deck. And Easter stays alive with a foul ball. Well, Bracken is an incredible strikeout machine. She also did pick up 12 walks over that weekend in 15 innings. Definitely call that effectively wild. And just missed down low. That was a good fastball, but it puts Keister aboard with one away. Now there's the double play opportunity if Galehouse can't hit it cleanly.
So we're seeing those 3 true outcomes pretty early here.
Galehouse capitalizes with those outcomes quite well. 5 home runs, and last season had a .339 on base percentage. Those are actually lower numbers than we're used to from Galehouse. Strike 1. But Galehouse, looking to get out of this cold streak, went hitless over the 2 games last weekend.
She did reach base twice with a walk in both games, 1 each.
0-2 now. Galehouse falling behind quickly. Solt will be on deck. She picked up a lone extra base hit for the Spartans in that weekend. Just outside. Good take by Galehouse. It was that high and away fastball that got Bracken the strikeout against Fantone not too long ago. 1-2. Don't think Keister's running yet. That's fouled away.
No stolen bases on Sunday for the Spartans.
It's surprising to see. Tampa loves to play small ball as that just misses low again. Galehouse might have gotten lucky, but we're a little bit higher up in the booth, so we can't necessarily tell the depth as easy on those pitches, but they look to be in an all right spot. Popped up by Galehouse. Should be in play. Cartron makes the catch, 2 away. Nice job by Bracken to draw weak contact. That'll bring Solt to the plate.
Yeah, Galehouse did her best to battle in that at-bat and bring herself back in and out of an 0-2 hole.
One notable thing here at Nemoli Family Stadium, power hitters tend to have some struggles sometimes because of how tall the outfield wall is. Players who are used to hitting a lot of home runs have to be used to hitting a lot of extra base hits of doubles and triples. Instead, given how tough it is to escape the confines of the park, you only see about a handful of home runs per season here. Sometimes weekend series will see a handful of home runs in an entire 2-game stretch. Safe at second. Nice stolen base by Keister. Even if she was out, the ball was dropped after the catch. So that'll be the first stolen base of the day for the Spartans.
Yeah, the stolen base is going to be the more reliable way to move runners into scoring position today here at Nemoli Family Stadium. And it plays against the Chargers' strengths. It's a team that had 72 home runs last season, their most in 12 years.
That's going to miss inside. No hit the corner for a strike. It is 1-2. Compare that to the Spartans, who only hit 21 home runs as a staff last year. They held their opponents to just 6 home runs in the season as well. And it's impressive when you think about they only play half their games at home. The 1-2. Good take by Solt. That was going to be a mesmerizing changeup that would have gone a whiff. She holds back just in time.
But I think if anyone on this team is primed to hit home runs at this ballpark, it would be Solt.
So Bracken getting set, the 2-2. Runner at second. And that's going to be lofted over the shortstop. Caught in left field, and Bracken escapes the jam. One base runner makes it all the way to second, but is stranded as the inning comes to a close. Spartan 0, Chargers 0. We'll be back in the top of the second. 4-5-6 to up for Alabama Huntsville. And welcome back to the University of Tampa. Chargers, Spartans, ready to continue the second inning. It'll be Cartron leading off for Alabama Huntsville. She had a solid weekend for the Chargers with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs during their 5-game invitational. She started in all 5 games and got a hit in each one. Looking ahead for the Chargers, I think they'll be bringing on Megan Schertz for Game 2. She had 3 starts over the weekend at that invitational, but had a couple of tough outings. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but obviously Bracken's going to have a green light to go deep into this game from the circle.
And I think as Cartron steps into the batter's box just about here, a solid start is probably a huge understatement. Posted a .929 slugging percentage in those 5 games, leading the team right now with a .357 batting average.
We'll see if that continues in their first matchup against the Sunshine State Conference foe this season. He'll be traveling to St. Leo on Friday and Florida Southern on Saturday as they have an active weekend of softball here in Florida. They'll be headed home next weekend to take on Christian Brothers, a 3-game series that'll be live on Flow College. 0-1 now for Cartron. I keep saying Cartron like it's Carton, but it's actually Cartron, and she's going to rip that to center field. It's another extra base hit for Cartron, a leadoff double. And that was a good throw to second by Keister, but it's a second too late. Cartron slides in safely.
Cartron, not one of the 4 players named to the preseason All-GSC squad that is part of this Chargers roster, but Bracken, the pitcher today, one of them. So was the leadoff hitter, Hayes. Another one, Alexa Douthit, stands on deck.
Thompson trying to bunt the runner to third, but it goes foul for strike 1.
And the final out, last inning, Jada Henderson rounds out those 4 players.
The Chargers should be one of the favorites to do well in Gulf South Conference play.
Yes, they were picked first in that conference, although did not have the most number 1 votes. So it should be a very tightly contested league at the top.
I mean, when you're getting first without the most first-place votes, that means that everyone knows you're going to be a top 3 team, but it's just that gold medal position that's getting shuffled around.
And Tampa's next 2 opponents are also GSC members.
Valdosta State and West Alabama. The Blazers have eliminated the Spartans in a playoff season not too long ago. The sacrifice bunt is successful. Douthit has a runner at third with 1 away.
And we saw in the first inning trying to use the sacrifice bunt. Doing so again here in the second. I think UAH has shown that they want this, and they want to give Bracken a lead as early as possible.
The infield playing short. They're getting ready in case they want to try a squeeze play. But swinging away is Douthit, who will foul it away for strike 1.
Douthit off to a slow start, batting a .133 through those 5 games in Louisiana.
She did pick up 2 RBIs with her 2 hits, though, as the count goes 1-1. But that's also pretty low in the team leaderboard. Cartron leads with 6th, Henderson right behind with 5. I think that's notable, though, how Henderson's pretty high up. Shows you how often Hayes and Adams can get in scoring position. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. DeSimone would love a strikeout right here. Would also be her first strikeout of the season. Didn't record one over her 2 innings of shutout baseball to secure a save.
Yeah, DeSimone, this is our first start of the season. Only made 5 relief appearances last year.
Ball 1, down to ball 2, missing up high.
But of course used as a very effective closer on Sunday in that Game 1 victory.
I think what's great about the Spartans, you can really shuffle around this pitching staff however you like. DeSimone, Galhouse, and McGinnis, all 3 of them are strong enough to be aces at most collegiate programs here at D2. And you've even got some more intriguing players you could throw into the circle as well. Notably, Kelsey Winters, who has yet to make her first Spartan circle appearance. But I do imagine over a 3-day span, she'll get her first chance. Ball 3 missing outside. Douthit could get a free pass with Smith on deck.
And Winters, of course, was good enough to be recruited to the Big Ten out of high school. So talent has to be there.
And did she go? No, she did not. Ball 4 on the full count offering. Creedler immediately wanted to check with the other umpire, Kevin Jack, if she went around. Tyrone Miller is the umpire behind home plate. Kevin Jack is currently situated right at the shortstop position, just behind the freshman DiMartino.
It seems like DeSimone is really just shaking off the walk, not taking it to heart, knowing she has the base open, and now a double play as a possibility.
Strike 1. Creedler had to be ready because Douthit did take a little jump after the pitch. DeSimone, I think, will recover relatively quickly from the walk. It's not the worst outcome in this situation. Runner doesn't go again. Creedler ready again, though. 1-1. Even wouldn't be a crazy idea to have the bases loaded, per se. Still might want to pitch around Smith a little bit. Now, notably, you do have a left-hander on deck in the form of Smith, Kylie Smith. That's ball 2. Should mention that Kylie Smith has only gone on base 3 times this season. All of them off of walks and 11 tries. Fell out of the starting lineup for 2 of the games, too. DeSimone behind in the count. That's going to be floated into right field and into the bullpen for the Chargers, which I imagine will remain empty for the entirety of this game. Unless they're trying to run Bracken as the starter in both games. But I bet they also want her healthy for the other Sunshine State Conference matchups, so I imagine she'll have just 1 appearance per day. 2-2. Just high, and that'll bring the count full again. This time, Douthit will certainly be running.
Yeah, Taylor, it's a lot of softball ahead this weekend for both teams. Have to be somewhat conservative with the usage of their pitchers.
That's going to be fouled backwards, and we'll stay alive at a 3-2 count. Someone like Bracken can give you a ton of innings in the circle, though.
And has experience both being taken out and put right back in.
So here we go, the payoff pitch. Runner doesn't go, and the ball gets past Reynolds. 1 run will score. Runners at first and second. An RBI single for Smith. Converts with runners at the corners.
And it appeared to me as though Reynolds just didn't get a great read of that ball off the bat. As she was taking her prep step and getting ready to field, it seemed like her weight was taking her towards second base for whatever reason. Instead, beats her by a step and a dive to her left.
Perfect timing for Kylie Smith to get her first hit of the season. It gives the Chargers a 1-0 lead. Double play opportunity still out there for the Spartans. I don't think they'll be able to get it. The catch is made. The throw to first, not in time. So 2 away. Nice job in center field by Keister.
A nice shoestring catch. I thought that she was maybe going to have to try and dive for it, which would have been a complete huge risk coming in straight on with no backup behind her in straightaway center field.
Keister's got good enough range to make that catch possible. It would have loaded the bases if it had dropped. Or they might have got the force out at second because the runners had to be careful. Inside, that'll be strike 1 on the inside corner. Now with the plate, it is Slayton with 2 away. So 0-1. That looked a little inside, but must have clipped the corner before going through. That one outside. Creedler tried to frame it, but couldn't get the call she wanted this time.
Douthit is getting some huge secondary leads off second base.
And you're a runner, and you're able to do that. Again, the pitcher's head. That's going to be floated to Keister, but she's got plenty of time to track it down, and that'll end the inning. 2 hits bring home a run for the Chargers. The Smith first hit of the season in RBI gives them a 1-0 lead entering the bottom of the second. And we're back at the University of Tampa. Bracken did get 1 run of support. And we are ready to go with a brand new frame. It'll be Creedler, Russo, and Winters due up for the Spartans. You know, Creedler had a tough job entering this brand new season, replacing a legend in Lexi Chevalier. The good news is she's definitely a player that can fill the role. Last season had a 314, 413, 545 slash line. Yes. This season has seen a number change, though, from 14 to 18. That'll be strike 1 as that's taken outside. She takes the number that was previously worn by Mary Beth Feldman.
Maybe just a coincidence, but it is how many extra base hits she had last year. 18. 12 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 homers.
Wonder if she's using it as motivation to try to surpass those numbers this season. That was a great freshman year from Creedler. We're excited to see what she can do to start her sophomore season.
And to start her sophomore season, want to combine 1 for 4 with 2 walks on Sunday in the doubleheader sweep against Georgia Southwestern.
She'll get ahead at 2-1 in the count against Bracken. Checking the wrist. Ready and fires. Missing down low, it is 3-1. On deck after Creedler is Russo, also a power threat. And that's ball 4. Creedler gets on 5 pitches. Russo has a ton of power, but the one weakness is this ballpark does not suit her play style amazingly, because a lot of her fly balls end up just a little short of going for home runs. I think that just hurts her batting average a little bit.
Well, she might be getting some help by Bracken not being able to find the zone. So far, 2 walks.
Here's the sacrifice bunt to try to tie the game. Throw to second, out. The sacrifice backfires. She does beat the throw to first to avoid the double play, but Creedler can't get to second in time. 1 away on the sacrifice attempt, which is not brought the result they were hoping for.
Yeah, so we've seen plenty of sacrifice attempts already. Tampa facing an early 1-0 deficit, trying to do anything to claw that run back.
So 1 away, that'll bring up Winters. Winters down the line. That is fair and will bring the runners to first and second. If it just had a little extra pop, it could have slipped past Slayton and tied the game or put runners at second and third. But Slayton was able to get in front of it and hold her to a single.
Yeah, seemingly had Winters played that way towards the line. Wasn't hit exceptionally hard, but Slayton was there pretty much right as it landed and eliminate any chance of extra bases.
So nice job there from Winters, who gets her first Spartans hit with that line drive. And Tampa's going to bring on a pinch runner for Russo. You can freely make substitutions back and forth. So understandably, they'll take Russo out and bring in a slightly faster runner to either try to steal or score from second on a base hit.
Yeah, it looks like it's Devin Hammonds, number 6. She did appear in Game 1 as a pinch runner of that doubleheader on Sunday.
Hammonds was the team batting average leader last year alongside Alex Welch. She had 8 at-bats, had 4 hits, also had a stolen base on 1 try. But at the plate is a freshman DiMartino, and she had a very good opening weekend last weekend. Let's see if she'll continue with strong end-of-week and Saturday play as Tampa takes on some Gulf South Conference foes. Swing and a miss for strike 1. It's not easy to fill the Stephanie Ballmer-sized hole at shortstop. Ballmer, one of the tallest Spartan players, which helped her with a lot of leaping catches that were hit her way. But we've seen some good defense already from the 17. A tough first at bat, though, for her against Bracken.
That's something that I think I've picked up on already on DiMartino, though, is through these first 2 games and now 1 plate appearance, she will swing early and often.
Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down low gets the second out of the inning. But you want that confidence to be swinging. Even if it leads to a higher strikeout percentage, if there is a good pitch, she will get the bat on it.
I haven't seen too much chase, though, although, of course, very small sample size so far, though looks like Bracken got her to fish a little bit there.
And Bracken definitely the type of pitcher who can give you a welcome to D2 moment, if you will. And that'll be strike 1 on the outside corner. Reynolds goes down 0-1. Reynolds had 5 tries at the plate and was able to deliver a base hit. Swing and a miss. She falls behind, though, 0-2.
Bracken is really seeming to overpower the bottom of this Tampa order with her fastball here.
Getting set to try to strand the runners and hold the lead. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Kraken. Katie Bracken shuts the Spartans down, and even though Tampa gets their first base hit, Bracken now has 3 strikeouts in 2 scoreless innings to hold on to a 1-run lead. We'll be back with more action on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. We are about ready to go. Spartans, Chargers, a 1-0 lead for Alabama, Huntsville. DeSimone conceded 1 run in the previous inning, looking to bounce back right here. The Spartans got a runner in scoring position, but just couldn't convert. Bracken was able to lock in and get 2 strikeouts to end the inning. I think it's not a surprise that 2 players that she struck out were 2 of the younger Spartan players who have had less experience against her. First pitch, strike 1. Squaring up for the bunt that time was Hayes. Hayes was able to hit a single past Reynolds in the infield earlier today. It's been an active day for Reynolds at second base. barely missed another ground ball that had brought home the opening run of the game. That one's not going to be ahead of the Reynolds. It's deep for Keister, but gets back just in time. One away.
And how important was that shutdown inning for Alabama Huntsville last inning?
Bracken is not a person who usually gets in trouble in the circle, so that was likely one of Tampa's best chances of getting runs on the board. Let's see what DeSimone can do here. She'll get ahead again, 0-1 to Adams. DeSimone enters with 36 pitches now into this at-bat. See if they give her the green light to go the distance or if they maybe make a call to McGinnis or Galehouse from the bullpen a little bit later on. Line drive, caught at third base. Nice grab by Russo. Of course, Russo re-enters the game for Hammonds. Was replaced as a pinch runner, but obviously you can do these changes freely, so she's back on the field at the hot corner.
And Russo now not the only Russo of the storied family in Tampa. Her cousin Cole now on the Tampa baseball team.
And Cole Russo's had a great start as well to his Spartans career. Had a important double as a pinch hitter on opening night, bringing home the go-ahead run for the Spartans, which would later convert into a walk-off hit to win the opening day game. That's going to miss, 1-1. And funny enough, that opening day walk-off hit was also hit by a player that last year played in the Big 12, or a team that's currently in the Big 12. Arizona State was still in the Pac-12 last year. Ball 2. Change-up missing up high.
Yeah, Kevin Karstar had quite the night, especially in the late innings, avoiding ejection after a play at the plate to then hit that walk-off base hit.
2-1. Make it 2-2. Breaking ball this time hits the zone to level the count at 2-2 for Henderson. It's a really exciting Spartans baseball team this season. A ton of transfers coming in from D1 and a lot of other promising players for our group that's trying to repeat as national champions. On deck for Alabama Huntsville is Cartron. Will she get a chance with a runner aboard, or will there be the end of the inning? Swing and a miss, and DeSimone goes 1-2-3 against Hayes, Adams, and Henderson. Her first strikeout ends the inning. And welcome back. The Spartans and Chargers continue their game, and Bracken continues her day in the circle. 35 pitches through 2 innings. 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Thanks to the single by Winters, Bracken is not on no-hitter watch, but has been pretty lethal so far from the circle. It's just the average Katie Bracken performance. She'll take on the top of the order in Fantone, Keister, and Galehouse. Fouled for strike 1.
So Bracken has already surrendered 3 base runners through these first 2 frames, but she's done a very good job of limiting any more damage.
Set to fire with the 0-1 count. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It'll undoubtedly be a busy weekend for Bracken. I imagine she'll get 3 starts, likely opening day ones on today, Friday, and Saturday. That'll miss up high for ball 1. I think Bracken's also trying to help her ERA get a little bit further down, because she did have a couple of runs conceded throughout the weekend, notably six earned and 8 normal runs, but she's held opponents to a 145 batting average as that misses for ball 2. Again, very small sample size for the 145 average, but that is good over 15 innings. Bracken gets set, the 2-2. Fouled away, good protect by Fantone.
Yeah, so appeared in 3 of the first 5 games, but kind of similar to Kate DeSimone, already has a save, although primarily being a starter.
The 2-2. Line drive, that's going to get down. It's a hit for Fantone. A leadoff single.
Fantone not doing too much, or trying to do too much there on that swing. Just pokes it to the other side. And really good sign, seeing that really in the last 3 batters, Bracken had been doing whatever she wanted with her fastball, locating it to perfection. That was a pitcher's pitch there, but Fantone, sometimes you just need to tip your cap.
Infielders playing shallow, and you'll see why. The bunt gets down. That is a very nice bunt. And it not only gets the runner to second, the ball is dropped, so she'll be safe at first. Runners at the corners off the sacrifice play. An error brings the runner to third, as there is a single on the bunt by Keister.
And the Chargers' bunt defense kept Cartron in her normal position at first base. She was the one covering the bag there. Surprising that she wasn't able to make the grab. The throw was not bounced. It was low, but one that Cartron, I think, would agree, should have had.
Popped up with runners at the corners. Will it drop? Yes, into the glove of Slayton. One away. So that is a costly missed opportunity for Galehouse. Prime position to try to tie the game, and gives Bracken a free out on the first pitch.
Yeah, Galehouse just under that pitch there. And as it stands, still looking for her first hit in 2025.
I think Galehouse was expecting Bracken to find the strike zone, to be aggressive and confident. But Bracken forced some weak contact. Nice work by the Chargers ace to get the first out. Here's Solt. Ball 1, runner goes, and she is safe at second. The throw is intercepted by Hayes. Wanted to avoid the double steal.
So after last inning, we thought it might have been a while before Tampa had another chance like this. This is even better than what they had in the bottom of the second.
Yes, you also avoid the double play opportunity unless there's an unlucky catch. And it's going to be 2-0, missing inside to Solt. Creedler's on deck. Would be a risky person to have the bases loaded against. So if you're Bracken, you probably want to find the strike zone.
Although if they've done their homework on Solt, now with the base open might be a batter you might just want to continue pitching around.
Swing and a miss. That's a high fastball. The ball bounces away, but won't skip far enough to bring home the runner.
On Sunday, Georgia Southwestern did the same, and they had good reason to. Last year, a .936 slugging percentage with Valdosta State in her senior year. Now the grad transfer here at Tampa.
That's also in the dirt. 3-1.
A tremendous block by the catcher Henderson.
That's the tricky part when you've got a runner at third like this. You have to be perfect behind home plate to keep that runner stranded. Free base is still open and won't be occupied yet. Solt was expecting the strike, fouled the fastball away. I think both times she swung in this at bat, it would have been ball 4.
That last one definitely was. But seemingly was hunting fastball up and got it, but got one out of the zone.
Payoff pitch. Solt chops it foul, will keep the pitch count climbing. Bracken will be close to 50. Normally that's a good sign. But again, Bracken's the type of player you just set and forget in the circle. runners, giving a lot of space open down the middle. Notably, the shortstop shadowing a little bit further to the left. And that's going to be driven to left field. It is going, gone! See ya! One escapes Namoli Family Stadium. Tampa takes a 3-1 lead.
Why take the walk when you can drive in all three? Abby Solt kept herself up at the dish by chasing some pitches and then finally gets one right down Broadway, and she did not miss it. And this was the power that was advertised from Solt.
You said it earlier, if there was someone who could clear the fences, it's Solt. And indeed, she just did. That'll bring up Kreitler with the bases empty, and now Tampa with a 2-run lead. I have not seen a Spartan hit a ball that hard in a while. Brilliant hit by Solt. And won the battle against Bracken. Swing and a miss, though. Bracken immediately with a little extra zip on that fastball for strike one.
A frustration fastball.
I will say, Kreitler might be in trouble if Bracken is super motivated to get a couple strikeouts back-to-back after that home run.
Although you have mentioned that Bracken is a set-and-forget type of player, there is action in the UAH bullpen right now. I do see a catcher in gear down there throwing balls back to somebody.
Maybe that could foreshadow a Game 2 appearance for Bracken if they pull her early and want to give her a more clean scoreline for the next matchup.
But yes, from our view here in the booth for the viewers at home, the roof of the first base dugout completely blocks anything else, so somebody's there throwing. We have no idea who.
Yeah. For the viewers at home, you can take a guess. Could be Lydia West, could be Megan Schertz, could be Jessie Cole, or someone making their 2025 debut. Given that they pitched 5 games over the weekend, I would be surprised if it was anyone new, as you imagine the Chargers want to get most of their pitching staff some starts and appearances over that weekend. Especially because there were a few low-leverage games that they had. A 10-2 loss against Harding, an 8-4 win against Washburn, and a 9-0 loss against Augustana.
Yeah, I would agree. This against the number 10 team in the country, it's not a situation where you want to get a new arm and have their feet wet.
Into foul territory. That is just out of play. 3 players were close, but not close enough. That'll keep the count at 1-2. Bracken checks the wrist. And a ball 2, missing up high. I think this will be pitch 56 for Bracken, and it'll bring the count full. Russo is on deck.
And Kreidler with 3 walks already in 3 games. Could have her 4th right here.
And she's going to drive that into the outfield. It's going deep, and it is caught. Running into the wall and making the catch is Thompson.
An incredible play from Thompson. Willie Mays-esque over-the-shoulder basket catch right as she was stepped onto the warning track, immediately collided into the fence, but able to brace herself and hang on to the ball.
That was not an easy play to make. 2 away now. And that'll bring up Alexa Russo. And of course, the Russo family has a lot of Spartans lore across many sports, including the storied career for Alexa Russo in softball.
Yeah, I learned all about the Russo family tree this afternoon. Alexa's dad, Paul Russo, coaches at Tampa Catholic, is a U-Tampa grad and played baseball here. That was drafted to the Minnesota Twins in 1990. Her brother, Paul Russo Jr., went and played baseball at Tampa Catholic, where he is now the head coach of the baseball team.
Strike 2 for Alexa Russo. And now, of course, you've got Alexa and Cole together. here at Tampa, and both with strong starts to their seasons. Russo entering today with a .500 average. But that number is going to keep going down. Bracken gets her 4th strikeout to end the inning. However, the Kraken was slayed by Solt's 3-run shot to give Tampa a 3-1 lead. It'll be up to the Chargers offense to get back to work against DeSimone when we come back on TampaSpartans.tv. Welcome back to Tampa Spartans.tv. DeSimone facing Cartron to start the new inning. Cartron had a double earlier today and was the lone run scorer for the Chargers. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for Alabama Huntsville so far. Tampa, meanwhile, 4 hits, 3 runs for both teams' first half of the game stat lines.
And that error will be something to hold on to as the rest of this game plays out. It allowed Lily Keister to reach safely, although could have called that a hit too. It allowed runners to advance that eventually didn't matter because Solt drove him in the easy way with the homer.
Yeah, all of them came around to the plate. No matter where they were on the base paths, they were going to be scoring off that home run. The 1-1. That's going to hit the zone for strike 2. Good location on the inside corner by DeSimone. DeSimone had an incredible start to the season last year. Had her numbers progress to the mean as the season came to a close, but for your first full season as a starter as part of a Spartans' deadly rotation, you won't be upset with a 1.30 ERA. 15 points above the team average, though, funny enough. That's just because Galehouse and Feldman had .9 and .94 ERAs, respectively.
Yeah, and was the second most used arm in terms of innings pitched.
Full count now for Cartron. On deck will be Thompson.
Also second in appearances, but had the most starts.
Deep fly ball to center field. That could get behind. Yes, it does for extra bases off the wall. Cartron with a second double today. And that ball slips away from Reynolds at short. Actually, no, it's from DiMartino at short. Good news is it rolled to the third base line, so there was no chance of Cartron advancing even further. But that was a carbon copy of her earlier hit. Over the head of Keister, drops at the wall.
And based on what I've seen so far, how was she not named to the All-GSC preseason team?
I think she's looking to prove the pollsters wrong. Also, I think both those would have been home runs at their home park, so she might feel a little disappointed that Molly Family Stadium kept the second one of those long shots in. But either way, tying runs now at the plate for Thompson. Last time she had a sacrifice bunt to move the runner to third. She probably got the bad news from her coach to try to do another sacrifice. Nope, swinging away this time for strike 1.
Although unfortunately for Alabama Huntsville, they won't get the chance to play at Charger Park until February 14th as they open conference play in a 3-game set against Christian Brothers.
Haven't seen the dimensions of the other parks, but we'll see if those are a little more home run friendly for this powerful batting offense. Russo could throw to third, and that is the first out of the inning.
So that bad news travels fast. Didn't do it on the first pitch, but squares around the second time.
Dothett has a chance to cut the deficit to 1. Infield playing shallow. A little blooper would likely drop in between everyone. And that'll be strike one right down the middle. Last season, DeSimone had solid command with 15 walks over 102 innings. The only player with better command in the Spartans pitching staff was Galehouse, who had 9 walks in 125 innings. I think it's a pretty ridiculous number, especially considering Bracken has 2 walks today in just 3 innings. But 9 walks over 125 innings. Craziness. And that'll be strike 2. And you keep in mind, Galehouse, that's also with, say, double appearances and bullpen appearances too. She led the team with 25 appearances, 15 starts, 5 shutouts on 11 complete games, and a save. The 1-2 from DeSimone misses. It's 2-2.
I think the biggest part of the three-headed monster that Tampa has shown this year of their pitching staff is that they all do some things a little bit differently. Galehouse and McGinnis seem to be more reliant on one pitch, which is a very good pitch.
That's going to be hit to first base. Easy tag for the first base player, Solt.
But as the point I was going to get to with DeSimone, as you saw there, she really doesn't have one pitch that's better than the others, but she just consistently pounds the zone and will not throw balls and forces the opposing batters to beat her.
DeSimone usually has great luck in terms of batters trying to. Last season, a 194 batting average against. Best for the Spartans rotation. Galehouse and Feldman were pretty close at 212 and 210 each. McGinnis, a little less batted ball and play luck, 225 batting average allowed. But when you're only allowing a 225 batting average, that's still really good. And for your worst pitcher to have a 144 ERA is something special. Even in the sort of more dead ball-oriented ballpark, Tampa had opponents' ERAs at 341 for the season. As the count's going to go 1-1, good location from DeSimone. It's Smith looking to bring home a run. She did so back in the second. Foul, 1-2. Notably, look at where Reynolds is playing. She was a little further back, closer to center field, and I think she's anticipating another ball hit closer in that direction. With a little more space, she'll have more time to get the out at first.
That RBI single in the second, though, was through the 3-4 hole.
Looks like she's just a little more cautious there to try to compensate. And the ball is not headed her way. It's headed in the zone for strike 3. And the Spartans get out of the inning, stranding a base runner at third. Second strikeout of the day for Kate DeSimone. And that'll take us to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Winters, DiMartino, and Reynolds due up to face the Chargers. So we're ready to continue. Bracken in the circle. Winters at the plate. The Iowa transfer got a base hit early, and that opened the floodgate for the Spartans offense. They've had 4 hits since. I wonder if we'll see Winters get a chance in the circle this weekend, but she's definitely solidified a role in the starting lineup. And it's good when you've got a pitcher that is also solid in hitting, because it allows you to use your designated player as a designated fielder. That's what the Spartans usually do when they've got Galehouse in the circle. Because she's good enough at the plate, it allows them to run a slightly weaker hitter like Hammonds out in center field.
It was Joey Trewick in Game 2, the one that Galehouse started, that was essentially the designated fielder, playing right.
That's going to miss outside, ball one. That'd be cool if they implemented that in MLB for Shohei Ohtani, where he could be the pitcher instead of and have a designated fielder for the Dodgers.
I don't see why not.
Now with the Dodgers pitching staff, I do hope they wouldn't introduce the you can take someone out and pull them back in rule, because they'd probably find a way to just have every pitcher throw one inning in every game and just shut out opponents left and right. First inning, you face Sasaki. Second inning, Yamamoto. Third inning, Ohtani. Fourth inning, back to Yamamoto for fun. Fifth inning, Kopech. Sixth inning, back to Ohtani for fun. Some stuff along those lines would be the daily occurrence, causing a lot of batters to cry.
And
Anyway, sorry. This count.
Say something along the lines of Brusdar, Gratterall, Kirby Yates, and
Of course.
Blake Trinan for 7-8-9.
The Dodgers' talent acquisition process reminds me of the Tampa Spartans' transfer acquisition process. It feels like we always get the best of the best. There's a line drive. Caught! Excellent grab at third by Douthit. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
No time to react, but Douthit sticks the glove out, a little bit of a pirouette motion to haul that one in, and it's the second line out to third we've seen today.
That was going to be the same style of hit that Winters had before, but incredible flexibility by the 33 at the hot corner. And that's why they call it the hot corner, because those balls that are headed towards you, they are headed on a line drive. They do not skip a beat on their way there. That is one of the defensive plays of the week, I'd argue, for Gulf South Conference or even all of D2 play.
Although, interestingly enough, so far, even with a power pitcher on the mound like Bracken, a lot of these right-handed hitters have been pulling the heater.
You know, a lot of them have seen it before. Maybe that's why they're able to jump a little early on it. Now you've got the bottom of the Spartans order, the players who are a little less experienced with Bracken's heat. We saw DiMartino strike out on 3 pitches last time. She's already down 0-2. Swinging, but fouling. Almost the reverse of that, I think it was it Andy Pius or a different Dodgers prospect during spring training last year who was told to not swing at all, just to see every pitch that comes his way?
I'd have to jog my memory for that story, but
it was one of their prospects who was told, don't swing, so didn't swing throughout the entirety of spring training. It's the opposite for DiMartino, swinging on literally everything, but starting to learn the timing, starting to understand it now. But that time she is beaten again by the high fastball. 5 strikeouts for Bracken, 2 away. But that was funny with the Dodgers batter who was doing that, because when he faced off against Zach Greinke, he had a little fun. He threw in an E-fist pitch at about 55 miles an hour, then a full power fastball at 92. Spring training starts soon as well. A lot of teams down here in Florida. A friend of mine and other Spartan commentator will also be covering, I believe, the Phillies spring training games. It'll be very cool to see. As 2 away now. First pitch missed, I believe, to Reynolds. But there's a big swinging strike. And of course, it'll be Josh Sperber. You can check out his games down in Clearwater.
And then before we know, we'll have Major League Baseball in spring training stadiums.
Yes, at George Steinbrenner Field. The Braves will be playing in Tampa as Bracken gets strikeout number 6. Tampa goes down in order, partially thanks to the Douthit catch, and also, of course, to the electric stuff from Bracken the Kraken. We're headed to the top of the 5th, a 3-1 Spartans lead. And we're ready to resume at the Namoli Family Stadium. Tampa begins a action-packed weekend. You can catch all the action here on Tampa Spartans TV. West Alabama and Valdosta State are coming to town on Friday and Saturday. West Alabama will play at 4 and 6 p.m. Valdosta State at 2 and 4 p.m. First pitch, strike one.
Harris leads all not unqualified hitters in this Chargers lineup. Went 4 for 8 this past weekend across 5 games. She appeared in all 5, started 4.
So let's see if that streak will continue. But she's already 0 for 1 today. Looking ahead for Friday and Saturday, we've got beautiful days for softball. No rain on the horizon. The only time it is predicted is way forward on next Sunday, the 16th. As the ball is going to miss up high for 1 and 2.
And after some unseasonable cold swept across the entire southern United States in mid to late January, I think
That is driven down the line and foul.
these consistent weeks of just sunny and 75, maybe even 80 now, I think much deserved.
This is really the best time of the year for the temperatures where it's just a perfect temperature. You know, once you get to late spring and summer, that's where it gets extremely hot. But you love the 75, 80 to 85 degree range. I mean, that's just the ideal, you know? You just love to go out there. Sometimes it's a little humid, but usually less so at these temperatures. If you avoid the humidity, even really hot heat is fine, but Tampa's and Florida as a whole is just a climate where it just gets so humid. That's what's the killer. The sweat, more so than the actual heat. And there's some heat from DeSimone that's fouled away by Harris. Stuck in a 1-2 count. Still no outs in the inning. Good job battling from the designated player.
Harris still without an extra base hit, though.
Tipped foul again.
Her 4 hits this season, all singles. Though, surely after today, she'd have to move up to qualified status, you would think, and that'll put her near the tippy top on the stat sheet for UAH.
And just up high from DeSimone. And finally, we've got a slight change to the count from 1 and 2 to 2 and 2. That's hit and gets past the diving shortstop. Out of reach of the freshman. A long and hard-fought single for Harris. That was an 8-pitch at bat.
Yeah, it was an extremely good battle by Harris, and not an easy thing to do against DeSimone, who the best thing she does is she'll never really replace locations twice. Fought off a pitch on the outside corner, then had the strength to not swing at a pitch up and in. DeSimone wanted to go back outside, but just caught too much plate that time, and Harris took advantage.
Infield corners playing pretty shallow. They're expecting Slayton to send the runner on a sacrifice. There goes the bunt. It is foul. No, she picked it up before it rolled foul. That is a costly mistake by Solt. As the ball was on the line, she thought, oh, it was in foul play. Might as well just pick it up and send it back to the circle. But all of a sudden, there was no foul single from the umpire. So that is a bunt single. But will be graded as an error on Solt.
Solt definitely picked that ball up on the chalk. But by the time she did pick it up, the runner, Slayton, well past her, and there was no chance.
That'll be something the traveling Chargers fans would love to see. You know, it's a long weekend down here in Florida as another sacrifice bunt will lead not to a force out at third. The bases will remain loaded. Almost a comedy of errors on the play. DeSimone trying to get the runner out at third. Missed the throw to Russo, was barely kept alive by Fantone. Fantone's throw back to the infield, got past Russo, and got past DiMartino, but was barely picked up in the circle by DeSimone.
And she's going to be handing off the softball here. But on that play, Solt did not cover first. She charged in. So the only play DeSimone would have had was to third base. And I think even with a good throw, probably would have beat the runner, which was Harris, probably would have beat it out anyway. Tougher for the right-handed pitcher to have to shift her hips towards third base on a play like that.
Looks like it'll be, I believe, McGinnis headed out to the mound to try to get out of the jam, put out the fire. This is her second appearance of the season. We'll take a quick breather as she warms up, and we'll give you her 2025 stats when we come back. Spartans ready to go. It's Gwen McGinnis in the circle. The day, I believe, will be fully done if they keep McGinnis in for DeSimone. 2 strikeouts over 4 innings, but hasn't gotten out here in the top of the 5th. It'll be McGinnis' job to escape the jam. There's strike 1 from Gwen McGinnis.
McGinnis was the opening day starter. She earned the win after going 5 strong innings, allowing 4 hits, 1 earned run on 2 walks while striking out 5.
That's going to be fouled away. 2 quick strikes from McGinnis. She's up 0-2 to Adams. It is a tricky situation for McGinnis to enter. Bases loaded, nobody out. I was wondering maybe if they bring in Galehouse as an emergency arm here, but they're going to trust the 19 in this high leverage spot. Just down low, it's 1-2.
So also as Tampa makes a substitution, the Chargers match that at the plate. Jill Cockrell, a left-handed batter, started 4 games in that Mardi Gras Invitational, though, batting $182.
2-2 now, and not a huge surprise to see a pinch hitter here. The only surprise is who the numbers are for the players, as these away uniforms for Alabama Huntsville, while pretty cool with a white numbering and blue outline, are kind of hard to see from the booth, unfortunately. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for McGinnis. 1 away.
And the reasoning behind that move had to be because, although despite Cockrell only having 2 hits on 11 tries and now make that 12 at-bats on the year, she did not drive in any runs. I was looking at Dalfit actually on the stat sheet, so just trying to get that left-handed bat in against the righty.
1 away in the top of the 5th. That fastball hits the zone for strike 1. Henderson going down in the count early. She is 0 for 2 today, grounded out earlier, and had a strikeout in the 3rd.
Yeah, it was Douthit, the number 6 batter in this lineup, that had 2 RBIs over the weekend despite struggling at the plate.
Strike 2 a little high, but just clipped the zone. I think a couple of the Chargers fans weren't fully certain if that was a strike or not. But hey, we don't argue with City Hall, and neither can the players down on the field. That's going to be high for ball 1. It's 1-2.
Now, in that game 1 of the season, McGinnis really tried to use her cutter or slider, whatever you want to call it.
Doesn't go for it here. That's going to land in the bullpen for the Chargers.
I like to call it a cutter because it's got the very slight amount of glove side action. I think we just saw it there. Couldn't quite locate it as much as she wanted to, so that's something to look out for here.
The ball actually hits her. No. A couple of the fans saying that it hit off Henderson's foot, but home plate umpire says no, that's just ball 2. Would have brought home one of the runs and given a new at bat to start. But
Henderson certainly thought that the pitch hit her, and nearly every Charger runner was also about to start jogging to the next base when, in fact, it was a live ball.
That's going to miss for ball 3. So good thing for the Chargers runners that they did stay put. Count goes full now. And this is a pretty big, important pitch. A payoff pitch here. And it is sent foul. We'll have another.
I mean, put an asterisk next to that one. That ball kicked away far enough that, probably enough that Harris could have scored and cut this lead in half.
If McGinnis misses the zone, it'll bring a run home. That's going to be blooped to the outfield. That's going to drop for 1 run. They're going to send the second one home. Runners at first and second. Tied game as the base runners finish back-to-back on the race to home plate. Harris and Slayton score. We're tied up at Namoli Family Stadium.
That second RBI for Henderson. All the credit to the base runner, Slayton on second. A tremendous read. Was basically 2 strides behind the runner on third that held up on that play. Slayton saw it as a base hit all the way through, and she pays it off for her team, tying this game up.
That was aggressive base running, but exactly what the Chargers needed. 3-3, the go-ahead runs at second. Still just 1 away. Cartron at the plate. And that hit her. In this situation, she's a very dangerous batter, but she didn't try to give her the free base via hit by pitch. I'll say that. Because you don't want to load the bases again. McGinnis just did.
No, even with the 2 doubles, did not want to put Cartron on in any fashion.
There were 2 sacrifices from Thompson earlier today, but now she's going to get the green light to swing with the bases loaded, or maybe they'll have a chance to drop a squeeze bunt to try to take the lead.
We've seen Tampa struggle already today with bunt defense as a DeSimone throw to third sailed in the outfield. Lauren Fantone's backup kept the runners from advancing any further.
Runner at first, a pinch runner now, making a call to the bench. Looks to be McKamey Bratcher. So Bratcher at first as a pinch runner. They've got Henderson at second, Hayes at third. 0-1 counts to Thompson.
This is where when they go back out in the field, if 2 re-enters in right field, we have to keep her in that same spot in the lineup that she started in. They can't move lineup spots. You know what I mean?
Bratcher,
0-1 with
sophomore.
McGinnis. That's going to be popped up, but it'll bounce off the net. Or does it stay in play?
No, it got the very top of this net.
It's hard to tell from the booth. I know, Shane, you were leaning forward to see it. So that'll add a strike to the count, but won't add a second out to the inning. McGinnis will need another strike to do so. 0-2 for Thompson. Thompson popped up. This one will remain in play. Soltz makes the catch. 2 outs. Bases still loaded.
So that was a big spot for the sophomore outfielder from Chattanooga, Tennessee that did appear in 32 games last year, but had 1 hit last season.
That'll bring up Douthit. Grounded out to first last time. Drew a walk in the second inning. Actually, I'm wrong. They're bringing on Hannah Temple as a pinch hitter. She got hit by a pitch and drew a walk. That's her first 2 on-base appearances in 2 at-bats this season. Well, 4 plate appearances, 2 at-bats. 0 for 2, but did get aboard twice. Getting aboard a third time would give the Chargers the lead. A big at-bat for McGinnis. Fastball missing inside, but it's able to be kept alive by Creedler. No chance for the runner to make it home. 1-0. And that'll be strike 1. Good location immediately afterwards by McGinnis. This is a very important inning, though, for the Chargers to equalize the game and also capitalize with McGinnis coming quickly out of the bullpen. 2-1, missing inside.
Yeah, they'll take it knowing that they tied this game up with a 2 spot here in the 5th. But if the Chargers can take the lead with the situation that they have now, bases loaded and 1 out at one point,
2-2. One more strike, and McGinnis is out of the jam.
it would have felt like a missed opportunity.
That'll put the pressure on the freshman in this high leverage spot, but definitely has a lot of trust to enter the game at this high leverage spot. As that will bring the count full, 3-2. Doesn't matter that Smith is on deck. This will be the most important pitch of the game right here. The 3-2, fouled away.
McGinnis deciding to go with the cutter there.
The runners will be moving. Down the line and foul, ricocheted off the Chargers' dugout.
McGinnis not trying to be too cute in this situation. Going straight at the freshman pinch hitter.
Runners go, strike 3, gets her looking. Perfect spot for McGinnis, and she preserves the tie. She wasn't able to escape the initial jam. Bases loaded, no outs. 2 runs scored on a hit past McGinnis. But even with the bases loaded again, she gets a couple of crucial outs to retire the side and keep us level at 3. Bottom of the 5th, due up for the Spartans, Fantone, Keister, and Galhouse. And we're back at the University of Tampa's Namoli Family Stadium. Taylor Storthy and Shane Patania on the call. We've got Raj running the show as we continue in the bottom of the 5th. Bracken ready to continue in the circle. First pitch, ball 1. Good news for Bracken is that she does have a level score line. The offense giving her some run support with that 2-run top of the 5th inning. She now has to get through the heart and top of the Spartans' order. Flared into left, and despite the sun at an awkward angle for the left fielder, Slayton makes the catch, 1 away.
It was Bracken's battery mate, Jada Henderson, with a huge 2 RBI bloop single. That has knotted this game up all at 3.
One thing you certainly love is when your teammate and battery mate can give you the run support that you're looking for. Keister at the plate now, Galhouse on deck. Inside, ball 1. Good take by Keister. Keister got aboard earlier with a walk and a single. She's 1 for 1. Tampa's a team only, 4 for 17, but they have drawn 2 walks. That'll miss away. Good take by Keister, 2-0. Checking the wrist. Here's Bracken. Foul. It is 2-1. 3-1. That misses down low. Galehouse on deck. Will she get a base runner?
They might do that. I don't know. They haven't determined that before the game.
Down the line and foul. That's going to land just outside the Tampa bullpen. I believe the Tampa bullpen will remain empty. It certainly will be McGinnis going the rest of the distance unless we do find ourselves in a 17-inning game.
Not cool, Taylor.
3-2 coming up. Fouled again. Good contact, trying to send it down the line.
Although the difference between today and that 17-inning game 2 years ago in the playoffs is that we have another one after this that we know will be played. There is tomorrow.
And it's also not with the season on the line. So a little less pressure for Bracken, but obviously would still love a big performance here against the Spartans, a team that has had some history with her as an opponent. And, of course, we are a team that she has had history of with some big performances in the past. 3-2 here. Her pitch count's now over 80. Good job protecting and staying alive by Keister. Infield playing shallow, expecting something hit on the ground. Yes, it's hit right to the shortstop. Slips out of Smith's glove, and that'll be a base hit for Keister. Maybe graded as an error. And, yes, it will be an error on Keister. Won't be the 5th hit of the day for the Spartans. It'll bring up Galehouse, who's looking for her first hit of the season.
So that, with the speed of Keister, Smith was playing in and was hit right at her, but because of that, still charged it and went for the one-handed attempt to field that ball with the glove and couldn't make the do-or-die play that, as a result of the pressure that Keister's speed put on Smith.
So, 1-0 count for Galehouse. And she'll take up high for ball 2. Solt is on deck. She took Bracken deep last time around. Pressure building again at the Moley Family Stadium. That's going to hit the zone for strike 1.
Knowing the danger on deck, if Bracken is able to retire Galehouse here, be a huge out for the Chargers.
That's going to be driven to center field, but caught in time by Thompson. 2 away, go-ahead run still at first.
So, yeah, technically nowhere to put Solt with a runner on first, but you could pitch around her here, and at worst, Keister moves up to second.
You also have Creedler on deck. So, would be dangerous to walk Solt, but I also imagine that after that long battle, Bracken might be a little more worried or cautious, but no, going to challenge her immediately, breaking ball right down the middle. Right down Main Street to start the new fight.
Would have to anticipate Bracken's going to give a steady diet of breaking balls as long as she can locate it.
Locates it again up high for strike 2. And this is where you can fool her with a fastball or get her frozen again with a breaking ball, just like she did right there.
Yeah, and the plethora of plus count pitches she saw last at bat, it was clear Solt was hunting fastball.
Runner goes fouled away. Tampa tried to hit and run, maybe trying to kind of throw off Henderson on the reception or Bracken during the motion at the end of her motion.
They really just kind of tried to reverse psychology there. Saw her showed Solt 2 off-speed pitches. Maybe wanted to think that she wouldn't think that she would get a fastball. Instead, comes back with a fastball and she's on it.
Slowing it down for strike 3. Froze Solt to get out of the jam. 7 strikeouts for Bracken over 5 innings of softball. So that'll do it for 5 full innings. We're all tied up once more thanks to 2 runs from the Chargers. Tampa was able to come back from a 1-0 deficit earlier. We'll see if they can keep things scoreless entering the top of the 6th. Or tied. Back in the circle, Gwen McGinnis, a brand new frame set to begin. Smith due up for the Chargers. We've got 2 innings to settle this before we get some free softball to kick off the weekend of Spartans action. A beautiful evening here at the University of Tampa. And here we go. That'll start with strike 1. McGinnis struck out 2 and gave up 1 hit alongside a hit by pitch in the previous frame when she entered the game for DeSimone from the bullpen. And that is strike 2. Popped up. It is caught. Nice running catch by Solt. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
Almost collided with the batter runner Smith on that play. Catch happened right at the same time as they crossed paths in that base path on the first base line.
So 1 away for Harris. Harris had a single back in the 5th. She was one of the 2 players to score as a base runner as well. And that looks to be the cutter just missing outside for ball 1. Ball 2 missing away again. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball that time fooled her. Harris a bit of a half-hearted wave on that attempt. Two and 1 count. And McGinnis now ahead 2-2. That's up high for ball 3.
Well, I have to think she comes with the cutter here. It's been the go-to when she really needed it.
And gets a swing and a miss. I think that was the cutter, and I know that is her 3rd strikeout. 2 away.
It's just enough of the glove side movement where a pitch that looks down the middle, out of the hand, all of a sudden takes a hard left turn on the outer half.
First pitch of the new at-bat is flared to the bullpen. It lands right where I don't think anyone's warming up as we see one of the Chargers running to the bullpen to pick up the ball.
Yeah, there certainly was movement before, but I think we've seen that Bracken has settled in after the homer, and I think this is her game, win or lose.
That'll be strike 2 now past Slayton. I think you said it best by saying this is her game. She'll be ready to go with a brand new frame if this is strike three. No, but it is a chance for out number three. Easy catch in center field. The side is retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Gwen McGinnis. Pop-up, strikeout, pop-up to the outfield. And we'll be headed to the bottom of the sixth. And we're ready to go with a brand new inning. Bottom of the sixth. Tampa's got 3 runs on 4 hits. Meanwhile, the Chargers, 3 runs on 7 hits as we begin a brand new frame. It'll be Creedler, Russo, and Winters due up for the Spartans. First pitch for Bracken. She's on 91 pitches. Fastball missing up high. Ball 1.
I would say the box score tells the story. UAH out hitting Tampa 7-4. They've done better with runners in scoring position, but it was one swing of the bat from Abby Solt that was the equalizer after the Chargers tied the game in the 5th.
That'll miss outside, and that'll put Creedler ahead 2-0. Creedler worked a walk in the 2nd inning. But since the 2nd inning, Bracken hasn't given up a free pass. Maybe she'll do so right here, though. 3-0 count to Creedler. Russo will be up next. Bracken gets set. And that'll be ball 4. Go ahead run on base. And you know, Jack Ike always likes to say, the old tale is that a leadoff walk scores a run 66% of the time. To increase those odds, they're going to bring on a pinch runner. Russo will be at the plate. Creedler gets a chance to rest in the dugout. She will be back behind home plate, I assume, for the top of the 7th. And looking like the number 14, nope, not Abby Flint, because it needs to be a Spartan, will be entering the game. Actually, I think that'll be a new Spartan debut.
Yeah, it's Daisy Watterson, a transfer from Jacksonville University. She played in 40 games last season for the Dolphins.
Welcome to the Spartans, Daisy. The wild pitch will allow the runner to advance without a sacrifice bunt. Misplaced by Bracken, and Watterson's in scoring position. 1-0.
And we've established that this is her game, but it seems like now there might be some second guesses in that Chargers dugout. Somebody is standing in the bullpen, although it doesn't look like they're necessarily warming up. Playing catch right now.
Also keep in mind you've got a game about 30 minutes when this one concludes, so it could also just be getting their game 2 starter ready to go.
But to come out here in the bottom of the 6th and throw 5 straight balls.
Not ideal.
Yeah, no. Not a good sign.
Notably, I don't think it was the coach out there in the circle, just the teammates. From the third base players, third base player, first base player, second base player, and shortstop.
And just a little bit more about the runner on second. She made 27 starts last year at Jacksonville, batted .200 with 2 doubles, 9 driven in, and scored 11 runs. Now can score her first as a Tarpon, and one that would put them in front here in the bottom of the 6th.
We hear some chants. I can't tell whether it's from the Spartan dugouts here or somewhere else. Either way, the atmosphere building to a more intense level. Russo gets the bunt down. Not enough time for the out at third. Out number one brings the go-ahead run under 90 feet away. I'm very used to saying 90 feet away for baseball, but obviously the field's a little smaller here for softball.
60 feet away stands Watterson.
90 minus 30 feet away, the go-ahead run. Here comes Winters to try to score it. She's 1 for 2 with a line out and a single. Corners playing in a little bit. Winters fouls that back. 0-1.
Now, if Bracken desperate for a lane to get out of this, the bottom of the Spartan order would be it, simply based on the inexperience. A sophomore, redshirt sophomore at the plate, freshman on deck, sophomore in the hole.
Popped up. This is going to be a dangerous spot. Will the Spartans send the runner? Yes, they're going to take the gamble. Throw to home plate. Safe. Avoids the tag. The throw was in time, but the tag was not. A late sac fly by Winters gives Tampa a 4-3 lead.
It was a fearless full bore slide, head first slide into home plate. A good throw by Thompson on a hop right at home plate, but Watterson beats it.
Great base running from Watterson. Makes it home safely. Here comes Ava Ramirez with the bases empty and 2 outs. She'll replace DiMartino for now, but expect DiMartino back in the top of the 7th. A 1-run Spartans lead. Bracken about to hit 100 pitches. I think she actually just did so. Nope, she didn't in the previous at-bat. She's now at 99.
But for Ramirez in this spot here, batted 158 last year in just 19 at-bats. Low pressure now. Tampa's done the job. They've taken the lead late and need just 3 outs to win this game 1.
I know Ramirez would love to get on board and help the Spartans and try to generate a little extra run support. It'll definitely be McGuinness coming out there to try to secure the victory. Would be the 2nd win of the season for McGuinness as the count goes 0-2.
And yeah, for the first time in her young career, DiMartino just a little bit overmatched today. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against Bracken.
Swing and a miss. Bracken gets strikeout number 8, but a little less jubilation from the Chargers ace as the lead was surrendered on a sacrifice hit from Winters. And now the Spartans have 3 outs to get in last chance saloon for the top of the 7th when we come back. And welcome back to Namoli Family Stadium. A brand new inning set to begin. And McGuinness trying to secure the W. And that'll be strike 1 to start for McGuinness. It's 0-1 to Hayes. Fouled back 0-2.
It's the 4th time up for Hayes, but it's the first time that she's swinging away against McGuinness. lay down a sacrifice in the 5th.
Did she go? I think she did. That's 0-2. No, that's actually strike 3. One away, an important strikeout for McGinnis to start the top of the 7th.
Yeah, the signal to the field umpire, Kevin Jack, but he basically looked right back at Tyrone Miller and said, you know she swung. Didn't even signal.
That's going to miss the zone for ball 1. So very close call there, but it won't benefit the Chargers. Here comes the 1-0 afterwards to Adams. Flared down the line, it's 1-1. Ball 2. That misses away from Adams as well. That's going to miss up high for ball 3. McGinnis did not get the chase like she was hoping for.
So Adams here, only her 3rd at bat because she was pinch hit for in the 5th by Cockrell.
And that is ball 4. Nice at bat from Adams to work 4 balls in 5 pitches. She now gets herself on board as the tying run. 1 away. Now at the plate is Henderson. 2 outs to go for the Spartans to improve to 3-0. That's going to miss, and that's going to be ball 1.
Henderson, of course, had that huge game-tying 2 RBI single in the 5th. That was off of McGinnis. Though none of the runs today charged to her.
That's going to hit the outside part of the zone for strike 1. And after falling behind a bit and having a few balls back-to-back, that's an important strike for McGinnis to get. 6 left on board in the game so far for the Chargers. They don't want to strand a 7th and end up with the loss. But McGinnis starting the heat back up, gets a swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Henderson made sure to get her A swing off there.
Line drive, caught, and that's a double play to win the game for the Spartans. Wrong place, wrong time if you're the Chargers. Right place, right time for Solt to seal the W for the Spartans. A double play confirms 3 scoreless innings for Gwen McGinnis. She improves to 2-0 on the season with 4 strikeouts, 1 hit, and 1 walk allowed in a dominant bullpen appearance. It was a great game for Katie Bracken. 8 strikeouts, but that 3-run shot by Solt and the late sacrifice by Winters ultimately gives her a defeat. She falls to a 1-1 record on the season. As Tampa improves to 3-0, the Chargers will fall to 3-3.
And what else could you expect from a meeting between the Chargers and the Spartans? Year after year, every time they meet, it seems to be a thriller. This game 1 here was no different. And the best part about softball, we get to do it all again in about 30 minutes.
It's 5:43 p.m. There will be a slight delay for warm-ups because we're not going to start directly at 6, but I'd say tune in around 6:15, 6:20. That's when we should have a brand new game of softball ready to be played. Expect Galehouse in the circle for the Spartans, and, well, it'll be a mystery who's in the circle for the Chargers, but we can't wait to find out. I'm Taylor Storley for Shane Patania and Raj running the show. We'll see you next time. Final score, Spartans 4, Chargers 3.